travel the world. So I started to travel. I'd visit over 30 countries of the world, visit huge cathedrals of the world, huge mosques and Hindu temples and natural and archaeological sites, and visit museums and do nature watch and sky watch. And while I'm doing this, I'm trying to see, I said, God, if you're real, will you give me a glimpse of yourself and let me know if Hinduism, Islam, or Christianity, which is the true religion, would you reveal yourself to me? And I leave that like that. And in the meantime, Michael was born, life was going on, but life was so frustrating, and Tina and I were just fighting, and things wasn't getting better, and I thought many times that I'll crash the car with every one of us inside, or I'll commit suicide. But in the meantime, on the job at a cricket club, I've been promoted from a tennis court maintenance, went through the rank to ice machine resurfaces, the skating rink, and things like that, and eventually become a property manager. And life was going great. I was on top of the world, except I was without a parachute. But as you look, you see my wife many times, you thought that she's a saint, she's a small girl, but she's a fighter. Many of those wars that we had, I have bruises on my body to show that she knows karate and she can kick hard. But I'm just joking. She's just she is just a saint. But she had an anger, and that anger was so ferocious that she can stop a raging bull charging at her. But God's hands was upon our life, and in 1998, during my travel to Europe and visit historical sites, and went on some of Paul's journey, went to the birthplace of Jesus Christ, Gethsemane, where he was crucified. In Egypt, I visited a place where the Lord was as a child, where Moses had the vision. And as I visit all these places, God was moving in my life, and I decided I had to read the Quran to find out for myself. So I read the Quran. When I finished in August, I'd started the Bible many times, and I used to start from Genesis, and I'll put it down, and all it was said was killing, and I read the story of Adam and Eve, and I thought, what a stupid and silly story. How can anybody come up with such a foolish idea of a snake deceiving a man and a woman? And I put it down, but that August of 1998, I picked the Bible up, this same Bible here that Tina used to pelt at me when we were upset. And I read this Bible starting in August, and in November, I read from Genesis to Revelation completely. Then my life took a turn for the worse. In January 1999, 29th of January, as everything was going well, my boss called me one day and said, Charlie, you're fired. You're dismissed, and 3 security guards took me and escorted me out of the property and said not to set foot on this premises again. The job was my only security I had, the only happiness, the only fulfillment during our turbulent year of marriage. I'd become so devastated and suicidal, I thought of going and kill the boss. I hid myself from Tina. I didn't tell her. I pretended I was going to work for several days. Eventually, when I told her, my family found out. They thought I've done something wrong to be dismissed. I seek all the help I could from the Hindu organization, visited Toronto Star, the Toronto Sun, I wrote City TV. I wrote the 3 municipal politicians in our area, but to no avail. In desperation, I just finished reading the biography of Nelson Mandela, Mahatma Gandhi, and Martin Luther King, and I thought to myself that if these men can stand up against governments and against racists and things like that, that I'll do something. So I told Tina I'm going to go on a hunger strike and bring attention to my cause, that I'll get my job back. So I wrote a letter to everybody, and nobody responded to me. So I tell Tina I'm going to go on this fast. I don't know what's going to happen. And she said, if you go on it, you have to leave home. So I said, when you're ready, you tell me when to go. After one door after another closed on me, I started the fast. 30 days into starvation on September the 24th, 1999. That evening, about 10:15 at night, I went outside to put my car in the garage. And as I leaned against the rail in the dark sky, all of a sudden, a huge island of white cloud just illuminated in the sky. And from the bottom center going up, it started to part. And I saw the image of a man with a robe on, with long hair, with his hand extended out. As I gaze and transfix, the cloud closes back, and then the image reappeared for the second time. I knew in my heart that God had answered my prayer, and Jesus Christ was real. I came in and I told Tina what had happened. Then she told her family and moms and so. It was a Friday, and Sunday I arrived at IEC at Martin Grove. But when I told my family what was happening, I was so excited. They said, "You're trying to make trouble and divided the family." My brother threw me out. But I thank God that Jesus Christ has came to my rescue, not Muhammad, not Buddha, that Jesus Christ is real, that he is the Son of God, that he is the Savior of the world, that God himself took it upon himself to visit planet Earth. And as we celebrate the communion, as we look back to the cross, we see all that was done and all that was accomplished. God would turn our marriage life around, that sinking ship, and bring it back to the surface. I thank God although we had sold 3 homes and separated on many occasions and come back together, we're still together. My son Brian, 2 weeks ago, have accepted the Lord. He's 34 years old.